right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday Wellness. Oh, I forgot to put on my blue light glasses. So always trying to protect my eyes. That's a little bit of what we will talk about tonight. And I'm excited that you guys are here because looking at my environment, I've had so many people say to me, well, Ilene, I don't get the results you get with the products you're taking. And I have to take a note and go, you know what? I spent 17 years detoxing my environment and rebuilding my body. So when I was actually introduced to activation, it was a rocket ship for me. And for other people, this is their first rodeo with supplements or with activation or with detoxing the body and changing their lives in the way that they're working. And so that's something to consider when you are starting a new regimen and you want health right away, which of course we all do. How much has gone on before that? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is how health is influenced by the environment. Because I think a lot of us don't realize what we're exposed to. And this is not to scare anybody. It is not to make you think, oh my gosh, I've got so many things I need to change. I can't afford to do all of that. It's opening up your awareness so that you can make different choices. And some of you may be familiar with the book that says, eat this, not that, where they showed you how to go into McDonald's and make better food choices, or go into Wendy's and make better food choices, or Olive Garden, or whatever it was. And that's all that I want to do tonight, is help you guys see a different aspect and maybe share some information you have not heard of before that you want to learn about. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Freedom with health, because it is July. It is the month of freedom. And when you have your health, you have 1,000 dreams. And when you don't have your health, you have one. You can have all the money in the world and all the time in the world, but if you don't have your health, you can't enjoy that. And as we heard last week from our friends, that I heard a lot of family and activities that people want to do when they are healthy. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about, I'm going to have to split this into 2 sessions and realized, oh my gosh, I have so much information to share. So over the next 2 weeks, we're going to talk about cleaning, bugs, EMFs, personal care, air, and food. So 3 things that we know. 1, did you guys know you're all trillionaires? Yes, it is true. You are the proud owner of 37 trillion cells. And that is an amazing amount, right? And each cell in your body makes up to 1 million antioxidants per second. Now, we'll talk a little bit more about antioxidants in a minute, but just think of the power of that, of making those many antioxidants. I have here a powder. This powder is a 1 serving. It has 40,000 antioxidants in it. That's not enough for our bodies, which we'll discuss, but 40,000. So you might be spending your money here on something like this that isn't the most effective use and expenditure of your money. Just in that 3 seconds that I told you this has 40,000 antioxidants, my body already made over 100 trillion fighting off toxins and free radicals. So that's one thing I want you to think about tonight. Where are you going? What is your best expenditure of money? What is the best thing for your health and your pocketbook? And the last thing I want to talk about is the body is always adapting. It is continually changing to fit us. And we all know that this happens because we've all had a hurt arm or a hurt leg, and our body adjusts until that body limb repairs. I think of my friend Greg. He's a marathon runner. And if I were to go out and run a marathon, you guys, I would not make it past the starting first couple of blocks, right? I have not made my body strong enough to adapt to that kind of strenuous activity. He went through his regimen where he was exercising 3 times a week. He did his regimen. He did little increments. He didn't go out and run one day for 10 hours and said, oh, I'm ready for that marathon. No, he didn't. He took increments. It's the cumulative effect. And that's what I really want to talk about, is that our bodies are always adapting. Whether you start a new regimen, whether you're quitting a regimen, your body is adapting to whatever it can to keep you alive. And when you are knowing that, you don't just give up after the first couple of days on a new product or something else like that. So when we talk about the environment, there's been a huge debate over the years, whether it's genetic or environmental. It is now believed that 95% of our health is environmentally influenced and triggered. That leaves only 5% for genetics. This is really exciting news, because if you can control 95%, what difference would that make in your life? What difference would that make in your health? Now, I don't know that we can control everything in our environment, because we have air, we have pollutants, we have all these things. But what if you could hit 75% or 80% and make a difference? And that's what I want to talk about. So a couple of people I want to refer you to. One is Bruce Lipton. He is the father of epigenetics. He talks a ton about the environment. The other one is Dr. Daniel Amen. Now, you guys pay attention to your screen. This man changed my life. So this is what he does. He takes brain scans of people. This is a healthy brain. The colors are just for diagnostic purposes. But the brain, I want you to look how smooth it is. That is a healthy brain. Now, this is a brain that is toxic. Can you see that? Are you looking at all of the holes and divots in that? Now, it's not that this person's brain actually has holes and divots. It's actually a lack of blood flow. So when you have that lack of blood flow, what is happening with your personality? Are you agitated? Are you irritable? Are you having fights? Are you short attention span? Little tolerance? And that's why it's so important we realize what is affecting us around us, so that we can reduce this toxicity level in the brain. When I went and saw Dr. Amen's clinic in 2011, one of the stories that we were told there was a husband and wife who totally loved each other, but they were bickering all the time. And they came in for counseling. And so they did their brain scans. And what they found was the husband's brain was toxic. And upon further investigation, they said, "Where do you work?" And he said, "I work in a furniture refinishing factory." He had had this low drizzle of toxins day after day for years after years that created the challenges he was facing in his marital relationships and with himself. And so what they did is, they know they can turn back the clock. They detoxified him, and maybe he got a new job. I don't know. But the story is they lived happily ever after. So what are you having in your environment that is affecting that? This is also something that I'm just going to touch on briefly. This is what drugs do to your brain. And we're talking about illegal medications and also marijuana, which is legal some places. But we have marijuana here, smoking, opiates, cocaine, alcohol, and methane. So I'm just going to let you look at that on your own time. But which kind of brain do you want? This is the healthy brain. And that's a choice that you can make with some things. So where do all these toxins, and they're also called free radicals once they're in the body, but where do all these toxins come from? They come from our daily living. They come from us converting food into energy. It comes from stress. It comes from the EMFs, the air pollution, exercise, inflammation. But here's the thing, your body has a defense system. It is so cool, and you're familiar with it. It's called antioxidants. So here's a little cartoon. Antioxidant right here is kicking out the free radicals and the toxins. But that's what your body's doing. Your body is making those 1 million antioxidants per cell per second in the body when it is optimal. And that ability actually decreases over time, which we can discuss at another time. But did you know we've introduced 85,000 chemicals into our society? And did you know that Europe and Australia have banned over 2,000 of them that America still uses? So just take that into a little thought. How do we know the effects of this? In 2005, they took umbilical cords and they tested them for 400 toxins. They found 287. Guys, that's 71% of the umbilical cords had toxins in them. These toxins affected the brain, development, and cancer. If they had tested for more, the odds that were they would have found more, but they only tested for 400. So what does that mean to us? Where are we getting these toxins from? We're getting them from our air fresheners, our cleaning products, our bug repellents, our pots and pans, our water, and our plastics. And this is where, you guys, I had to draw a line for tonight, because I actually, when I talked about each one of these, it went super long. So I'm just going to really touch on personal care tonight, because your skin and hair is so important to what's going on inside your body. And this is what we know about the skin. It is the largest organ. It is the first line of defense against toxins. So if your skin is dry, cracked, you know that it's letting in more bacteria and viruses. This is super interesting. The body absorbs 63% of what it is exposed to in just 23 seconds. And your forehead and scalp is 4 times faster. So picture yourself in the shower, and you know that it's hot water if you shower like me, and it's opening up your pores, and you're putting toxin soap or toxin hair products on your body, or you have toxins in your water, what that's doing to your body cumulative over time. That's something to think about. And this last fact, we used to have a saltwater pool. We live in Arizona, and it was great. The kids played in it for hours every day during the summer. But in 8 minutes in a saltwater pool, you have absorbed your salt intake for the day. 8 minutes. We don't stay in a saltwater pool for 8 minutes in Arizona, I can tell you that. And so these things are just things to consider. I will be having a water specialist coming on, and hopefully the next month we're trying to get him booked. But what I want to introduce you to tonight is the Think Dirty app. If you don't know about this app, you need to get this. It is free. It is not sponsored by any of us. It is actually an app where they have analyzed thousands of products. And I'm going to show you a couple of them. So the Think Dirty app analyzes products on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 to 3 are green, and they're considered okay. 4 to 7 is considered yellow, which is watch out. And red is stay away from it, 8 to 10. So these products that I pulled up, you can see here on the ingredients how many yellows and how many reds they have. Now notice the top red, it says fragrance. Notice the top red over here, fragrance. The rest of it is not red, but that red fragrance put the toxin scale over the top, and the fragrance here. And I'm going to talk about fragrance and what that is in a minute and why that is so important. But on the other hand, some other of the top 5 ingredients, because you know, as you read an ingredients label, the most populated ingredient in that product is listed first. So they're in order of how much quantity is in the product. So the first 5 ingredients on those 3 products were these chemicals. So this one affects your brain, lungs, liver, and heart. This one is skin and eye irritation. This one is stomach pain, hands, ankles, feet. This one comes under fire for your hair and skin feeling sticky. So just take that for what it's worth. This app is amazing. It helps you to learn and identify these chemicals. So fragrance, this is why it is so mind-blowing. So fragrance is considered a trade secret. So when a company puts fragrance on a product, it can contain any chemical they want it to contain. And that's why it always gets an A. They do not have to reveal what is in that fragrance. So when you're looking at products, you want to look for products that are infused with essential oils or fruits or herbs that are plant-based that can actually perfume the products for you. This is a study out of Australia. So they took people and they said, what about your exposure to fragrance products? And this is super interesting. This is from the abstract in here. So 73% were not aware about fragrance products. Get this, this part blew my mind, you guys. 56% said they would not continue to use them. What about the other 44% of the population? Why are they continuing to use products they know are toxic? And they knew from this study of what they were toxic with, and it's down here in this section where it says migraines, asthma, and those are just a couple of the challenges people have with fragrances. And so they knew that they could prevent adverse health effects and costs by reducing the fragrances that are in these workspaces that these people are in. So here we go with fragrances. We put it on ourselves because it's in shampoos, conditioners, perfumes, and lotions. These are just a few things that can be affected by the fragrance. Sperm damage, liver cancer, breast cancer, diabetes, migraines, asthma, chronic lung disease, hormone disruption. This is why we need to be careful. They're allowed to put them into these products. We have to be the smart consumer. So I'm going to unshare for just a minute and just share a couple more things with you guys. So about the personal care products, I have what I'm using right there in the middle of the table, because those are all zeros and ones on the toxin scale. And I'm going to show you one more thing with my phone. And you can see the Johnson & Johnson baby shampoo. You can see that I'm moving that. So this is live. And I touch on the Johnson & Johnson and I go down and I can see that it only has 6 ingredients. 5 of them are clean and 1 is dirty. So I can go to the full ingredients and I can go, this is so cool. So I can tap on fragrance and it will tell me what it's used for, what the health impacts are for, and explaining. Look how long that explanation is about fragrance. I can go back and I can tap on one of the clean products and see what that does and why that's an okay product to have in the system. So also in the Think Dirty app, if I wanted to just type in lip balm, then it's going to pull up all these choices. So when I can be a smart shopper, and it also has a barcode where you can actually put in the barcode and it can scan a product that you're looking at on the shelf. And that's why I like the Think Dirty app. It is third party, it is non-biased, and you can see what kind of products you got. And I will tell you, I was talking with someone the other day and she says, well, I use Dove non-fragrance soap. And I said, well, you need to look it up on the Think Dirty app, because Dove soaps, there are a few of them that are toxin free, but then there's other ones that have toxins in them. So even some companies inside their own product lines, they have products that are better for you than others. And I just want you to be aware of that. And I'm just going to give you a glimpse. I've already gone, oh my gosh, 20 minutes. I can't believe it goes so fast. I have so much I wanted to share with you about cleaning, kitchen, and those type of things, and bugs and mold and all of these devices I have in my home. And just a real quick one for bugs, instead of doing bug sprays inside your home, if you buy these sticky pads, it really is awesome. So I'm going to go into that more next week. I appreciate you guys jumping on, and I hope that you can see that when we can eliminate things from our environment, we are eliminating more toxins that our body has to fight off. And that's what the goal is. We want our bodies to be able to be as healthy as possible so we can live the kind of lives we want to live. And that's why it's important to me and my family that we have those toxin-free body care, hair care. If you use cosmetics, you can look up cosmetics on the Think Dirty app and find those products that are cleaner for you to be able to use. So you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We are here every Wednesday. We have the Biohacked Body inside of the Facebook page where we can talk about these things a little bit more. I will come back next week and tell you more about all of this exciting stuff, because I've got soap nuts here. I have dryer balls. I have washer balls. I've got all kinds of little gadgets that help you to live, hopefully, the cleanest life that you can, so you can enjoy those moments with your family and loved ones. So thank you everyone for joining us, and good night. Thanks for watching, and remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.